Classic Tetris Monthly DAS Masters. Our first match is going to be PixelAndy and Brodin. Our second match will be Leo and Sharky in 3, 2, 1 Tetris. This is DAS Masters, a DAS competition. What is DAS? Well, it is the play style that relies on the press and hold play style that sort of we surmise that the developers intended this game to be played with. So when you press and hold in certain ways and with a certain timing, you can overcome the delayed auto shift that happens when you try to move a piece. And if you can maintain a certain rhythm and timing of those directional pad left and right inputs, you can avoid it for a long time and move the pieces a little bit faster left and right. And this is the play style that predominated in Tetris, both competitive and, just casual play or whatever, before the advent of, or the, proliferation of various tapping-oriented play styles like hyper tapping and rolling. And it was the play style by which the first eight Classic Tetris World Championships were won. Andy, okay, so now this tournament has been going on for just a few months. This is the third month we've ever done it. Andy was the first ever winner of that tournament. Is also a, I believe, 4 or 5 time CTM Masters event winner. Maybe it's 4. 4? I think it's 4. Something like that. It's a good number. Also was the runner-up in the Classic Tetris World Championship in 2020 and has several high finishes in the CTWC. Excuse me. Oh, God, excuse me. Now, I do have to apologize. I am still dealing with some sort of illness, like a cold or a flu or something. So I will try my best to avoid coughing into the mic, but it might be unavoidable. On the right side, Brodin, a.k.a. Alan, is a 2-time CTM Masters event winner, both times in the year of 2020, both times against Corian in the finals. Also has a runner-up finish that same year in August 2020 against Eric ICX. Notable competition. 226 here for Brodin. 205 for Andy. Brodin with a good board. Andy with just, this is alternating burn shelves. Swiss cheesy holes all over the place for Andy as he works this down. Brodin also has many top 4 finishes in CTM and a ton of them in 2020. In fact, he went on a run where he was just in the top 4 in 2020, like almost every single month. And it took players like Joseph Saley and Corian to knock him out. Like he was that crack back then as a hyper tapper. And I believe, to this day, kind of plays all over the place. Sometimes you'll see him dassing, sometimes you'll see him tapping, sometimes even switching into rolling. So Brodin, a long timer. And to help you determine whether or not what is being played is DAS, you will see on your screen a display with a Hertz counter that will display the speed at which the most recent tap was done. When you see that change, it does mean that some sort of tap happened. And it only counts it if it's, 2 taps or more. So, single and 2 taps, we don't really care too much about. That is pretty standard for a DAS player. What we do care about is regular hyper tapping. Quick taps are allowed. You'll also see the left and right directional indicators as well as the B and A buttons that are the rotational indicators. So that is what you see on the screen. Andy coming in at seed number 1. Brodin seed number 5. Both players out of the United States of America. Now, a very, very, very top-level score for a DAS PB would be a 1.3 million. I believe, is it Tugi that has the current world record with like a 1.3, 6 or something like that. I forget the exact one. Andy with a 1.3. He is second in the world as of the last time I queried the database. Brodin Damp with a very respectable 1.1 million, which I think he got in the qualifiers for this event. So we are neck and neck right now. 422 for Brodin Damp, 400 for Andy, and it is closer than I thought it would be given Andy's early struggles in this game number 1. This is a best of 5. The first player to get to 3. See those big zeros right next to their names. The first player where that says 3 is the winner, and we'll be moving on to the finals to play the winner of Sharky and Leo. PixelAndy did take part in the Jonas Cup of last weekend, and he finished in the top 4 in 4th place. Transition for both of these players, 455 Brodin Damp, 476 for Andy. Andy's a little bit further ahead in lines. Good adjustment for Andy to make room for that long bar. And Brodin Damp did not take part in the Jonas Cup. Would have loved to have seen it. I don't know what Brodin's playing on now, but for a lot of years, and maybe even still to this day, Brodin was playing on a not on a CRT, but on an LED screen, like on a flat screen TV. So to me, that's amazing to be able to maintain DAS. I don't know if what he's playing on nowadays, but good to have Brodin Damp back playing competitively and to see him. 501 for him, 541 for Andy. They're pretty close in lines right now. Andy with a column 9 Tetris. And now a column 10 Tetris to bring it back. 600 for Andy, 507 Brodin Damp. He's going to get a Tetris as he's just about to, kind of a overshift of that square for Brodin Damp. That's going to slow him down. That left side was a bit of a problem for Andy, but he's going to get a Tetris to bring this down. He's got to work this low stack into something that's Tetrisable, and he's actually setting up a column 4 dirty Tetris. He's going to take it down here with a safety triple. It's the right thing to do, seems like. All right, I'm going to try for a dirty Tetris, but if it doesn't work, I'm just going to duck right out of it, and that is the key here in a DAS tournament, is do not get wedded to, a Tetris. One extra piece, you think, I'm going to hold on one extra piece and try to eke out this Tetris, and that extra piece can ruin your entire board. And so there's an incredible temptation to, maybe you want to hold on too long, but you just got to know when to fold him here in a DAS tournament. 671 for Andy, 593 for Brodin Damp. Tetris Brodin, 627, back by about 45,000 points. Maybe 50,000 points now. Tetris Andy, 711. We started on level 18. There's 130 lines of that. Then we get to level 19 speed, which we're on right now. And then level 29 is, in effect, the DAS kill screen until proven otherwise. Andy has the world record for the highest level attained with the DAS playstyle, level 32. That happened in this very tournament just a couple months ago. So Andy's setting up here for a dirty Tetris. He's going to get it. He's got room to set up one more before that level 29 kill screen kicks in. I don't know what Brodin's going to be able to do. Andy's going to get a nice, easy Tetris in column 4, 857 into 29. And Andy going to do what he can to try to survive here. He's got a bunch of material built up on that right side just for this very eventuality. And he's going to get a few lines. He wouldn't need that extra score. Brodin's going to top out at 813 on 29. Andy is good in game number 1. GG's to both our players. A good game number 1. 3, 2, 1 Tetris. I am still a bit under the weather for you people who are not U.S. American English speakers. That means, I'm a little sick, right? A little cold, a flu, an ague, whatever you want to call it. I didn't realize that non-native English speakers had trouble with the word under the weather until someone said under the weather. Does that mean they're homeless? And I thought that was a totally reasonable thing to say. Yeah, under the weather, like you lack shelter. And, it's not a bad guess for me because probably, somehow I will end up homeless just through my own weird actions, but not yet. All right, Tetris Randy 74,000. Brodin long bar over Tetris. I know Mudu says back to van life. Indeed. Although you're supposed to say homeless anymore now, there's all new things you're supposed to say now. I don't know. I'm just gonna stay with homeless. Sorry. I don't want to change my terminology every 3 years. $116 for Brodin Damp. Tetris for Andy, $129. $1.99 from Robinson Super Chat on YouTube says dog is the best in the world for getting rebirth. It's hard to argue. It is hard to argue. Dog, multi-time champion in 2 of the most difficult years ever of CTWC. 8-time CTM champion, now the score world record holder by a country mile. First player to get rebirth. I don't know. It's Dog's world right now, and we are living in it. All right, Andy's spiring a little bit. He's going to have to take an L piece down that right side to get a triple. Oh, interesting kind of an adjustment there. Ends up triple flipping a piece, Andy does, to bring that stack down. We are not spiring anymore. Tetris, Brodin Damp, 192. Wait, Dogs got rebirth. Yes, AID. He got it last night. Now, he's going to be playing later today in our Masters event finals, and I just wonder, yesterday basically played what is a 2-hour game. You can go watch it on YouTube. He's already got it posted. This is a gym rebirth. This is not a crash dodge rebirth, so it's a gym rebirth. So I guess the next milestone for the Tetris community to get is that maybe, assisted crash dodge. Maybe somebody coaching someone through the crash dodge rebirth. I would say that's probably the next milestone to get. Oh no, Brodin Damp too high on the board. Gonna top out at 242. Had a Tetris well buried there, but just ended up too many gaps all the way up and just really did not have any burns. So that is gonna be a top out for Brodin Damp. Andy good in game number 2. Def Gamer says, just to confirm, is November going to be no cap November in the regular tournament? Yes, it will be no cap November. Is Crash going to be on? Probably not. We might do something like best of 3 with some, or maybe best of 5 with one of the games counting for double. Let's get them started in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. So yes, the big news right now, less than 24 hours old. Dog playing Tetris, getting the rebirth screen on Jim. So really the longest game of Tetris ever played, the highest scoring game ever played, 29 million. And that 29 million, of course, tantalizing because now you want to be like, oh, I can get the first 30 million, right? So, if it had been like 27 million or something like that, but now it's like, oh, well, he didn't get 30. He's really close. Maybe I could be the one that gets the 30, right? But yeah, I think overall, there will be people who try for that, try to get the rebirth. Now that it's been done, this is kind of how things happen, right? Think, oh, something's impossible. Oh, God, that left side for Andy is a real problem. After a couple of misdrops, I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do. He's got one more to bring it down. Okay, he's going to get it over. Phew. So he brought that stack down enough to be able to access that left side. I was worried. Andy was not worried. He's like, yeah, man, just burn a couple lines. I'm good. Whatever. Quick tap. No big deal. Dumb commentator. Tetris Brodin 121, 82,000 for Andy. But yeah, that is what seems. Oh, another Spire here for Andy as well. But that is another something that seems to happen, right? So, oh, it's impossible. It's going to be months and months before anyone gets, such and such an achievement. No, everyone's despairing. Oh, I'll never get it. Somebody gets it, and then immediately 4 other people get it. Robinson $1.99 super chat on YouTube says you should stream No Cap November all in one day. That is what we should not do, Robinson, but thanks for the super chat. Yeah, Barrett quoting, just kind of the general just generic statements people have made. Rebirth will never happen because no one is interested. Well, I mean, all you got to do is start a game and not top out, right? I mean, somebody's going to get to colors. That's fairly routine now. I mean, relatively. Now, things are going to, I'm tired of playing. I'm just going to top out here on, level 180 or whatever. No, people are going to keep playing as long as they can. If they're going to play Tetris at all, and eventually someone's going to get it. Don't count out Tetris players. And right now I even see, no one will ever get Crash Dodge. No one will ever get... Someone's going to get it. Now, Crash Dodge is orders of magnitude harder than the Gym Rebirth, right? It's very hard. But someone will eventually put in the time and get it. I think they'll get it assisted. It's like people, it's like, oh, there's no aliens at all. And it's like, all right, we don't have any evidence that there's aliens, but you can't say there's never, ever going to be any aliens, right? Like, I don't know. It's possible. So I think eventually, there'll be aliens. But it's the same thing with Crash Dodge. Yeah, eventually there will be. And that commits me to very little. 345 Andy, 369 Brodin Damp. Nerd the Box says, in 2080, dog playing Tetris will become the first person to achieve aliens. But, again, if you could go broke betting against Tetris players, doing the allegedly impossible. And I think, Crash Dodge with coaching, people will try it. They'll get, so far, and they'll get past a few levels, and then other people will be tempted to try it. And, people do it so much that they start to memorize the crash skips. And then someone will eventually just, put it together and do it. You think people are going to memorize? I think coaching will happen first. Like, where you've got a second player there on Discord with you telling you what to do. Now, maybe somebody will memorize in advance. Before there's coaching, but I think the coaching thing makes a lot of sense as an incremental step. And I think that should go on the leaderboard with its own category, or some leaderboard with its own category. 541 transition for Andy. 541 Brodin Damp. I haven't given a lot of score checks. My apologies, but we are super close. 542 on 131 for both players. And, you know, we saw, overshift there for Andy on that left side. He still can access that little cave that he's created. And that would have been a Buko spin set up, but instead just opts to do the safe thing and chuck a piece down there, get some burning material. But yeah, at Jonas Cup, Scooty was, you know, going for colors and was trying to, crash dodge a few levels and just kind of accidentally, like, didn't even want to burn whatever. What was it, a single or something? And ended up just kind of accidentally triggering the crash. So it is not just trivial, like, oh, that's why I think some sort of coaching will be part of it. But that's just a prediction. I have, somebody did it the other way, I wouldn't be all that surprised. Andy starting to spire a little bit, has to build around it. Brodin Damp with one gap in the stack here, trying to uncover that. Does so. And now trying to establish a Tetris well. Oh, and of course, that's the other aspect is, having to hit the select button now. You've got to add another input. So it's not easy. It's not trivial, but I think someone will get it eventually. $759 Brodin, $688 for Andy. So Brodin is where he needs to be. Maybe he's a little ahead in lines right now, but he's got the lead. Andy, though, is now working with a clean board. Both players are. Andy with a nice double wide well, so allows him a lot of flexibility and safety. Fills it in, though, and now what is not safe? Oh, no, that left side. Now he's in on a bar. Long bar gets over. And he's trying to bring this down just one more row. No, Brodin Damp going to top out 768. And here comes Andy, and Andy's going to top out at 755. So Brodin Damp will survive. Andy cannot capitalize on the level 25 top out by Brodin Damp. And Brodin will get a game. And so has forced a game 4. Does Lone Star count as Masters? Counts as a major open tournament. Game 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And longtime fans will remember the Brenny KFT games where Brenny had a monitor that was kind of on the floor or much lower. And so it looked like he was playing with his eyes closed. A lot of longtime fans will remember those days. People are like, oh, Richard, he won that with his eyes closed. He's so good. Well, that's like Richard Part 2. Andy completing the Vits. Jasmine loves it. I think especially with Das. Both players on 91,000 here as we get underway. Brodin needs to win to force a decider. Ah, yes, playing Braille Tetris. Das Witz. So, I'm loving the Das resurgence, and, Jonas Cup was so exciting. It was probably my favorite event I've ever been at. We had a worthy champion. We had 2 worthy players in the finals, worthy semifinalists. I mean, it was really hard to know what to expect going into it because there was a lot of players that are kind of less familiar with from kind of open tournaments. And also players that we are familiar with, but not 100% sure what they would have on Das. And the whole thing, just thrilling, amazing. What a great energy. And I'm very happy to have been at that one. I think it's a can't miss event. If you are a fan of Das, if you are an aspiring Das master, that is the event to go to. Unless you're in Europe, in which case CTWC DAS is the vent to go to, but I hope we get more Americans out to that CTWC DAS and more Europeans out to that Jonas Cup and vice versa. Brodin Damp in a little bit of a situation. That left side is going to be tough. We'll see what he can get over. Okay, gets the bar over. Flat long bar burn. All right. He's working it down, so a little bit of a crisis averted, I think, for Brodin. Now just needs that one piece. That one piece is good. Andy at 341. Brodin at 236. All right, Brodin looking for a well-timed bar here. Just keeps blocking the well. Finally, uncovered well, blocks again. It's now low enough where he seems like he's out of danger. You can see the wave of relief washing over Brodin Damp. 266 for him, 411 for Andy. Now, of course, as a player, my experience was totally different than as a spectator and commentator. I was totally robbed in the relay challenge. I mean, the old guy team actually did pretty well. Got to the semis, had a real shot at the finals, but it was just too late in the day to deal with all the technical issues and replay games again, so... Doc Pie with the Prime sub, 28 months, says, hi, vandypants. Hello, Dr. Pie. And that is not pie as in the pie you eat, but pie as in the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. $559 Andy, $393 now at Tetris for Brodin Damp, 416. Hope I'm having a smooth recovery. Yeah, I'm not. It's been anything but. 584 transition for PixelAndy, 439. Now 463 transition for Brodin Damp. So over 100,000 point lead at transition for Andy, but his board's starting to get a little bit high and trying to uncover. Okay, that's a good little double for Andy to take. All right, Brodin gonna get piece. All right, finally, yes. All right, Brodin gets a piece down, 519. Andy looking to make it to the finals. 2 out of the 3 months we've held DAS Masters. All right, Andy going to take that safety triple. Has a lead of about 110,000. So we can afford to just kind of, you know, get himself into a good board situation. Take a few conservative burns. Long bar over Tetris, Andy. Oh, quick tap Andy, that piece over to the left side, man. Clean board. Now Tetris ready after a skim. That T is a little bit testy, but gonna get another Tetris Andy, 702, 591 for Brodin. He's gonna get Tetris 619. There's one Andy. So still over 100,000 point lead in score, but Andy also ahead by about 4 to 6 lines. Tetris Andy 764. Brodin center of the board starting to pile high. Now kind of all in on a bar. Gets the bar so we can bring this stack back down. Has some cleanup to do. Now I also want you to remember, we had a 669 contribution from Mr. Burrow and a $20 contribution from Jen Bros. Prize pool at $13.77, so we need $123 to get to our $1,500 incentive. That will allow us to pay the top 8. And Brodin is gonna top out at $6.95. Just could not get a well-timed bar. Didn't really have any burns. If you look at the stack, really just had one burn, and a lot of those pieces would have blocked the well anyway. Couldn't get the piece over, and just dead drop piece in the middle, and that was going to be it. So Andy is good in game number 4, and we'll be moving on to the finals. Brodin Damp, a worthy semifinalist. Great to see Brodin back in the fold competitively. Always a treat, but it's going to be Andy who is moving on to the finals to play the winner of our next match, which is going to be Sharky and Leo. So stay tuned while we set that up. We're going to watch Andy try to get a max here, and gets the bar over for the max. Okay, and another Tetris there for Andy after the fact for the A61. So a fun mullen for Andy in his 3-1 victory over Brodin Damp. We will be back in a moment. If you want to see some jank, I'm going to run some ads. We love to run ads. Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. Join our Discord server, the largest classic Tetris community online, at ctm.gg/discord, and follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.